Hello everyone, Mark with Grimtastic Baits here to do another rating on a mold that I use, that I actually sell baits from. Today, well, first of all, just a reminder, I'm not affiliated with anyone. I don't get discounts from anyone. I don't get freebies from anyone. I don't work with anyone. This is just an unbiased, no BS review of these molds. So today, we're on the last of my angling AI that I have, and this is the angling AI 5-inch core shot stick bait. As you can see there, yeah, I oil the heck out of these rods, so there's always something left over and residual. Sorry about that. As always, I'm going to start with the cost. $164, 5 cavities, $32.80 a cavity. You might think that's not too bad, but well, there's better out there, there's worse out there. As far as the price, let's go to worse. I hate to say it because I do like Epic, but their stick bait, 5-inch stick bait, only has 4 cavities, no core option. In fact, none of these that I talk about are going to have a core option until I get to the last one. So, 4 cavity, $135, so it's $33.75 per cavity. $33.75 without the core shot option. Might be the most expensive route to take if you're just wanting a stick bait. So let's jump on. Let's go kind of the opposites. Well, let's go a step down. With no core, do-it molds. You guys saw me rate the do-it molds 5-inch Cinco, 4 cavity that I had. $105. You might think, oh, that's $105, not bad. But when you divide it out, it's actually $26.41 per cavity. But, you know, it has hinges. It's an easy clamp. It's not a bad mold. I really like that mold. Next is one that's similar, but not quite exactly a stick bait. Bass Tackle, I tried to find if they had an actual true stick bait, but it doesn't really seem like they do unless I just overlooked it in all my searching. But they have a 5 1/4 inch 4 cavity. It's called an Elliptastic. It's not really round. It's an elliptical shape when you look at it. It's 4 cavity, and it's only $89. So it actually comes in at the cheapest at $22.25. But again, it's not a true all-around full stick bait. Hog Salad, they're a new one out there. They have a 5 1/4 inch Cinco, not Senko, Cinco. Avoiding their copyright, making it just a little bit longer. $145, but it's actually a 6 cavity. Because of that actually really helps the price on that one. $24.17 per cavity. So that's a really good one. Now, the one that I'm most impressed with, that until I started searching it, I didn't even know it existed. Fat Guy Fishing. They have a 5-inch, 5 cavity, core shot stick bait mold for $110. That's basically $50 cheaper than this one to get a core shot stick bait, and it actually comes out to be the cheapest out of all of them. It's cheaper than the Do It. $22 a cavity. Yeah, you know, that I think that's a clear winner on that. So when you actually look at the price and what you're getting and comparing it to all the other stuff out there, I'm going to get this on the cost of $6. I don't think it should be this much for a stick bait. Yeah, there's a lot of machining to it and such, but $164 for a stick bait. I mean, yeah, you got the core shot, but we're going to get onto that. I'm giving it a 6 on the cost. Now, moving on to design, it is, 5 inches long, as we talked about. It is core shot, so you have the rods so you can do your core shot. 5 cavity. In the end, it's a stick bait. Comes with the rods, of course, like I was talking about. On the plus, guess what? Almost everybody does this, but one company I know of. This is so great. Yeah, I'm going to preach about this every video, I swear, because it's so important to me. You can close it up, wing nuts, bolts. So overall in design, it's not a bad design. It's a basic design. There's not much to it. I'm going to give it a 7. As far as versatility, this is where this one really shines. This one, you do, let's show some examples here. You got your single shot. Duh. What mold doesn't do a single shot? It does dual laminates. Here's my Ronald McDonald. Pretty decent. Not going to complain. Not bad at all. Triples. It shoots triples just fine. I mean, it's a symmetrical bait, and naturally it's going to shoot duals and triples extremely well, which it does. It shines. I mean, it does a great job at that. Also, it does, of course, the core shot, which that's not a core shot. This is a real faint core shot. Let me find a better one. Here we go. Core shot. So you can see it's kind of a gold tone, yellow gold, and it's got that dark purple June bug color flowing through it. So it does that. Now another nice thing, if you want to get creative, you can cut this as many times, you can core shot it, cut it as many times as you seem to want to, and you can take that section there that you see on a nightcrawler typically and shoot it a completely different color. Slice it with the core shot, put it back in, take that piece out, shoot it, and as it fills the core shot in, it's going to fill that portion in also. So, you know, and along with that, the tips, I don't have it, but for another $99, you can get a 20 cavity tail tip to add to this to give it a little more versatility and make it a little more varied also. So versatility, this is shining. This is a 10. It does extremely well at doing all sorts of different stuff with this. So this is a 10. You know, not to mention, if you wanted to, I mean, just like any stick bait, you do the milk the cow method, get swirls, do whatever it is you're looking for. Since it's such a symmetrical bait, very easy to do. Now, you might have caught it when I was flashing these baits around a little bit. See how good you were at, well, I'm covering it up right now. Let's go to uses. It shoots great and flawless on every level except cores. The cores dent so easily. Prime example. Horrible. The shells dent. Now, the only way you can get by that I've figured out is you have to shoot very cold. And when I say very cold, I'm talking like 310 degrees. And you have to hold a ton of pressure for quite a while. That is the only way I figured out how to get rid of the denting on this. Now, in my personal opinion, if you have a mold that where it's supposed to shine is in the core shot, and you're advertising how great the core shot is, it better core shot properly, and it better do it with ease. But this one does not do that. In fact, I've seen in a lot of forums where several guys have this issue. It's not just me. It's the nature of the beast on this mold. I've tried, I mean, I'll run these rods piping hot. I'll run the entire setup hot. I'll run the plastic cool, doing everything right, and it will still dent. It dents, for me, almost half the time. The thing will dent unless I do a perfect shot, 310 degrees, everything's hot as hell, and you hold a lot of pressure. Then, yeah, then you're going to get some core shots out of it. But, you know, again, it's the same spot every damn time too. I bet I could line these up. Look at this. Exact same spot every time. Now these are just a couple examples I pulled real quick. Because the whole reason I wanted this mold is for the core shot, but I'm not going to be doing many core shots with it anymore. It does great single, double, triples, but core shot, save your money. So, for use, I'm going to give it an 8. I would give this thing a 10 if it could core shot properly, but it can't. It's frustrating. So, Not a 9, not a 10, but I'm still giving it an 8 because when you do singles, doubles, triples, it does a great job. It fills out, it fills smoothly, easily, no bubbles, no dents. I mean, well, that's a little bit of how you're treating your plastic, but for the most part, it shoots flawless if you're not doing cores. Now, so an 8 on that, 8 on the use. For the appeal, it's the best seller on the AI website according to them. It does have almost 200 positive reviews, although I don't know why on the Angling AI website, when I use the mobile version, I can only see 5 reviews. I can't see the rest of them. It stops at 5 and I don't get to go any further. So I'm taking their word for it. There's 200 positive reviews. It's rarely seen on the secondary market, and when it does show up, they sell quick. So that tells me people like it, they keep it, and when they do sell them, you know, it's desired. People will chase after them and buy them very quickly. But in the end, it's still just a stick bait. Which, like I say, almost every manufacturer, I think that's how most manufacturers start out, is trying a stick bait because it's such a simple, easy format. So for the appeal on this, because of the secondary market, because of it being, you know, on AI's website as their best seller stuff, I can't give it a 10 because, again, it's just a stick bait. I am going to be fair about it, though, and give it an 8. I don't think it quite hits the 9, but I'll say appeal on that is an 8. If it was anything other than a stick bait, with all those reviews and with people chasing them as soon as they go up on the secondary market when they do rarely show up, I might have gave it a 9, but again, just a stick bait. So in the end, what we're looking at is the overall total, right? Overall total, after you average all those up, we got a 6, 7, 10, 8, and an 8. That leaves us at a 7.8, which I think is more than a fair rating for this. Where it really hurts it most is the cost and the fact that the cores don't shoot as well as what they should. In hindsight, I'm after finding it, I'm really kicking myself for not doing a little more research and finding that Fat Guy Fishing one. Now, that Fat Guy Fishing one, ain't gonna lie, ain't a word, I hate using it, but I just used it, sorry. I am not going to lie. It's a copycat. It's a straight up copycat of the Angling AI. I mean, there's not much more you could do to make it different, but I don't know if there's anything more you could do to actually do a core shot any differently. But I think Angling AI came up with it first, and then Fat Guy Fishing just kind of followed up. But golly, 5-inch, 5 cavity, same thing for $110. I'm giving serious consideration into purchasing the Fat Guy Fishing one and trying it out and seeing if it shoots as well, or if I don't have any denting problems like I do with this one. And if it does work better, if I do decide to purchase it, that is, this sucker's going on the secondary market. I'm gonna make it go. Should you get it? If you have core shots in mind, yeah, look at the Fat Guy Fishing one first. I'd strongly encourage that. If you're looking for it for singles, doubles, triples, why are you going to spend the extra money for the core shot if you're not going to be doing a core shot when you have options out there like the Do-Up Mold Senko for $105, or the Hog Salad where you get an extra cavity and it's a little bigger for $145. I definitely would not go the Epic Bait Molds route. 5-inch 4 cavity for $135. A little steep for a stick bait mold. In hindsight, I wouldn't buy it again. I wouldn't. I have it now. There's nothing I can do about it besides sell it or piss and moan about the fact that it doesn't do perfect core shots. Somebody out there, I'm sure, is going to argue with me that, oh, it shoots great. I want it to shoot perfect every time, regardless of what I do. Regardless, I mean, $164 for stick bait mold. It better shoot flawless every time on the cores. Otherwise, all I have is a glorified stick bait mold. When you take these out and I just, along with that, I just have extra trimming to do. Well, no, I really don't, because actually that comes out with a sprue. So I don't have any extra trimming to do. It'll still shoot. But in the end, I can't recommend this one. It's kind of a lower score, 7.8. Not a great score. There's better options out there. So I'm done rambling. I'm not going to do any ranting or anything like that today. But I hope you did enjoy this, and it gave you a little insight on what it's like to have this mold in case you're kicking it around. Look at the fat guy's fishing one instead. I haven't shot the fat guy fishing one. Maybe it does the same thing. I still try fat guy fishing first. And I don't actually really own any fat guy fishing molds anymore. I sold what I did have. But I hope you enjoyed this. Do not like. Do not subscribe. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. But I hope you have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.